For today's vlog, I'm going to be taking you along with us on our trip to Robe, South Australia. Robe is a 4-hour drive from Adelaide, so we're going to be stopping at the 2-hour mark, which is MENINGIE. Our first stop is the halfway point. We're at Freshies Cafe and Bar. While most people stop at the local bakery, I am so glad we chose this restaurant for lunch. They have got a great outdoor space which was perfect for our toddler. After a 2-hour drive, she certainly needed some time to run around, and this restaurant actually had a backyard with a boat filled with sand and toys, which was the perfect break for her and for us. So she got to play to her heart's desire before we hit the road again. We drove another hour and a half and stopped over at Kingston. Here at Kingston lies the Big Lobster, which they named Larry. At this point, of course, our 1-year-old was tired of the drive, and we fully intended to have a snack at the cafe at the Big Lobster. Unfortunately, we got here at around 3 and found out that the cafe actually closes at 3. But that wasn't going to stop me from taking selfies with Larry. And so we just had a little dance party with our child before we put her back in the car again. Of course, if you're traveling with kids, make sure you have plenty of snacks in the car. From Kingston, we drove another 30 minutes and finally reaching our destination, Robe. Robe is a popular summer destination, but today we're traveling on a cold winter morning. But that's okay, that won't stop us from enjoying. And with borders shutting, we're still incredibly lucky to be able to travel within South Australia. We're staying at Robe Town Motor Inn. And as a motel, I didn't really expect much, but I'm happy with how it turned out. The room was perfectly fine and more than enough. And they even had plenty of towels and pool towels. Yep. This motel actually had a heated pool. We chose to spend the afternoon enjoying a swim in the heated pool. After that, we freshened up and headed out for dinner in the local Chinese restaurant. The food at the local Chinese restaurant wasn't bad, but it was incredibly overpriced for the serving size and the quality of the service. But I guess we didn't really have much choice, as at the time this was the only Asian restaurant we found, and we were really craving an Asian meal. The next day, we headed out for breakfast at the local bakery. What is it about little towns and their bakeries, and why is their food so good? By the way, for the Filipinos watching, the tuna pie really reminded my husband of Jollibee's tuna pie. It was so good that we had to get it the next day. From there, we drove to Long Beach. This is one of the few beaches in South Australia where you're allowed to drive your car on the sand. Of course, it was too cold for a swim during the winter, but we decided to enjoy the view anyway and allow our child to play on the sand. Robe felt like a small, quiet, lovely town, and my husband honestly didn't need a map to drive around. We just took our time and drove leisurely. From there, we headed to the old Gaol Ruins. The town of Robe is rich in history, and there's a lot of interesting tidbits if you're interested to read on about their history. Whoa! From there, you can immediately see the pathway that leads to the obelisk. This was only a short walk, so we didn't bother to bring a pram or anything. Our toddler could walk, or we could carry her. Robe was South Australia's second busiest international port back in the 1850s. The obelisk helped guide the ships as they navigated the sea. Originally painted in white, it was still too difficult to see, and so they painted it in alternating red and white bands. These days, we can only see the obelisk from a distance as it stands on decaying limestone cliffs. You can see plenty of boats here. Robe prides itself as a wonderful fishing destination all year round. We had lunch at Union Cafe just because we happened to park there, and the food was surprisingly good. After having a nap in the motel and having another dip in the pool, we headed out for afternoon tea at Mahalia Coffee. This is a fun, quirky shop where you can also buy trinkets, and they had a lovely interior, which was packed with people, except for the outdoor space, because it was a cold winter day. Famed for having the best coffee in Robe, my husband thought it was okay. Did, however, enjoy their waffles and thought this was worth it for the price. I wish we got to try the local ice cream shop, which boasts of homemade ice cream, but we were too full. I enjoyed looking around at the shops on this strip in Robe, and they surprisingly had really good stuff with really good quality. We ended our second day in Robe by grabbing some fish and chips takeaway and having a restful sleep for the drive the next day, headed to Naracoorte. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, and follow me on Instagram at @GenieInABottleBlog.
See you guys next time.